Recording. All right, Reek, we're back. It's been a little while since we did one of these here, a 4 and 20. We've got
sir.
It's been too long. So we're back, and of course, I'm your boy Big Pedro. We got man Reeky Leaky on the side over here with me as well. You said before we did anything, you needed to give a shout out to somebody, right?
I need to give a quick shout out to the Spanish national team, La Furia Roja. Had a World Cup qualifier today. Saw more magic from my boy Danny Olmo. 3-1 victory versus Kosovo. We're going to cruise to the World Cup. Looking to add that second star on my jersey.
Nice. Now, thank you for not making me roll my R's like that. I would have had a little more difficult time doing that. Also, my wife's family is she's Dominican. If you go a little generation before that, they are Spanish. Still have family in Palma de Mallorca. See, I didn't say that too bad. The accent's not horrible.
That was good.
So, yes, I also root for the Spanish team because Trinidad's only gotten into the World Cup once. Trinidad was ruled by Spain 100 and something years ago. There's a lot going on there. But yeah, I could figure out a way to get behind a team. And I agree with you. They look really, really strong. That's probably the best team in the world. You're 100% correct. But we're going to stay on this side of the pond here. And we're going to talk about American football. We do have the draft coming up here. And you see that there's got a draft crackbacks up there. We've got another round, another part of the first round coming to you. We've got the first 6 picks up on the YouTube channel already. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button. Visit us on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok as well, on Twitter, Mr. Big Pedro everywhere across the board. And, of course, Enrique is Reeky Leaky everywhere across the board as well.
Yes, sir. Except TikTok. I'm not there yet.
We'll get you there at some point, man. We'll have you on. We'll get you putting some Knicks tidbits on a TikTok at some point there. But, yeah, we're going to be jumping into the NFL draft here. And one of the topics you said you wanted to bring up before was the pro days. We didn't have any combine this year because, the good old vid's still hanging around right now. But we are getting a chance to do the Underwear Olympics in scripted in stadium, their own comfort area. Are we putting too much stock in pro days?
So my best answer is yes and no. The pro day should serve as a means to validate what you saw on film. It can't isolate it. So if the guy looks fast on film, you want to go to his pro day and be like, okay, does he really run like 4.3 speed like he looks? Whereas in vice versa, that's where you get yourself into trouble, where the athleticism doesn't match the production on the field. So that's really my best answer. Yes and no. And then with quarterbacks specifically is where you can really get, let's say, seduced.
Okay,
by,
nice word.
By the amazing arm, because everybody has a great arm nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
What a lot of scouts mentioned was different from Zach Wilson, for example, compared to all the other ones, is that he was making the throws that you saw him make on film. A lot of times they set these pro days to their advantage. They're going to make easy throws, feet set. And Wilson was making off-platform throws and was going left and throwing right, which that is something that not many quarterbacks can do.
True. Now that's the throw du jour right now, because Wilson did that through the left fields. That's the two that are on the screen right now, because those are the two that are probably getting the most benefit out of pro days right now. So it's now, right before I hopped on here, I'm sports junkie just like you are. I've got it on the radio and Twitter, the whole nine, listening to it all the time. 3 days ago, the Jets were taking Zach Wilson 1,000%. You could have hopped, over to Vegas, and you could have wasted some money betting on somebody else going to the Jets 3 days ago. That has changed after Justin Fields put on a show at his own pro day. And you're right. It's scripted. They're in a comfortable area. But Fields is one of those other things that you're saying there. Validate on the field. Validate, with your eyes at the combine or in this case, the pro days. Trust your eyes. Do you see what I'm feeling? I do think, though, that these Underwear Olympics are going to be going away pretty soon. Spoke about it on Crackbacks a couple of weeks ago, how more of the in-game tracking is going to take over for more of this. So you're going to have, the GPS pads that are built right into the pad, the GPS trackers that are built right into the pads, and you know how fast the guy is running in real time now. You know how many miles the guys run. Kind of the burst. You'll be able to. They'll have those metrics in those particular cases. So I think it's going to be going away soon. But I do agree with you. It's too much stock in the underwear Olympics. Everybody looks good in a scripted format.
I mean, I'll give you an example in terms of something that actually is being a little undersold right now.
You got 20 seconds to get your point out.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts 40 time, right? Because you can train to run the 40 separate from being fast in the NFL. And if you watch Kyle Pitts run the 40, he's actually got really sloppy form. He turns a little bit to the left to come back to the right. And he still ran a 4.4. So he's actually faster than what you saw.
Yeah, he didn't run a straight line at all. There was some meandering going on left and right. You hear the old adage, he runs like a football player. Yeah. So yeah, I would take the stock in the games, seeing what they've actually done on film more so. It's just something for us to talk about, and it's a number to stick on somebody. Oh, well, Kyle Pitts is a 4.4 guy now, or Jamar Chase was another one earlier today. Ran for I think it was a 4.3 and change. That's going to be a very rich man in not a long time from now. Jamar Chase looks absolutely amazing. That's our one topic down. This is the rapid fire method of this 4 and 20 here. We're coming up on the second one. We're adding an extra day, or an extra game, I should say, to the NFL docket, to the NFL schedule. It's going to be week 18 now. Now, I didn't hear back a few months ago when they were talking about doing this, there was word of having maybe a second bye. I didn't hear anything about that since. Is that off the table, or are they just not something they're talking about anymore?
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily off the table. What is confirmed is that they're going to just drop a preseason game. I don't know if that's clearly not enough for the players. They're still very upset about it. But that's the only thing I know that's confirmed. They're going to drop the fourth preseason game, which nobody plays in.
This is true.
I'm just, what I'm looking at is looking at these matchups. A lot of teams are saying that, you can just sit out somebody week 18 because they played it. But some of these teams, they're going to need to win these games based on, where they're at. And these are going to be some good matchups. These aren't going to be just some throwaway games. Very few of these teams can actually mail it in. I'm actually pretty excited.
Most of them are kind of made for TV ones as well. Packers, Chiefs, made for TV. Eagles, Jets, made for TV. Cowboys, Patriots, made for TV. Not the Falcons, Jaguars. Hopefully we're playing for something and they're not. But there's a Bucks, Colts. There's a lot of good games on this week. The one thing that concerns me with the extra week is we see it in the NBA now. Back in the day, guys played every game. It was 82 games a year. You flipped over an All-Stars basketball card and you saw that they played 80, 81, 82 games a year. Now they're doing all of this, load management, and they're taking off games in here and there for rest. I'm always thinking about football in a fantasy perspective. So are we going to be seeing in week 9 that the Falcons rest Julio Jones? He's perfectly healthy, but it's that extra week, and they want to give him a second bye week since the league didn't give it to him. Are you going to rest Julio Jones? Does Derrick Henry, maybe it's a weaker opponent, they give him the week off? That's screwing with my fantasy lineup now. That's my kind of one concern. That, and of course, it's another week where for an injury. Whereas you're right, they're taking away a preseason game, but nobody played in the first 2.5, 3 of those games. Nobody played any. It was only the third game where you played into the half if you're a starter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's also the teams that will, I guess, quote unquote, survive this and do well are the ones that draft well, because they'll have that depth. In the entire lineup where, the teams that haven't been drafting well, so in result have to spend a lot of money on free agency, they're going to be a lot thinner in those weeks. But, it's all part of the strategy. I think you ask any coach, hey, you play with the players out there, you play to win the game.
This is true. And it's not the first time the NFL has done this. I mean, O.J. Simpson, when he ran for $2,000 back in 1974 or something like that, they played 14 games back then. So there was a bit of an uproar when people got up to, the extra 2 games in there, the guys' bodies can't take it, things of that sort. So, we went from 14, then it was 16, now it's 17. The only sad part is, and I saw a meme earlier today, it said that the Cowboys, they can't go 8-8 anymore. They're not going to feel right. Yeah. They're not going to feel right going 8-8. Going 8-9 or 9-8 or 7-10. It's just not
Yeah,
going
it's
to
gonna
feel
be
right to
weird.
him. It's going to be weird not seeing an 8-8 next to Dallas, but the Dolphins, they can still go 0-17. The Dolphins are actually pretty good right now. I shouldn't be giving shit on this. This is not Greg Camarillo and Cam Cameron's Dolphins. This isn't
Yeah.
turn those thumbs right side up. It's not those Dolphins. Dolphins are actually pretty good, and it pains me to say it. I don't hate the Dolphins. I hate the Heat, but the Miami Dolphins are a semi halfway decent football team. They're only a quarterback away, and that's a discussion for another time. We got a weird one here, and you got two Knicks fans, two diehard Knicks fans, talking to you right now, and there's word that it's quite possible that the most deadly offensive weapon in the NBA took the Knicks off of his list completely before they even had a shot of getting him because of the jackass on the standing to his side right now, Michael Rappaport. This is the weirdest thing. I don't know if to feel bad for KD, to laugh at KD, to think that KD, come on, dude, get a grip here. I don't know. What do you feel about this? This is a weird freaking story.
So it just puzzles me so much as to why he's so sensitive. He's a two-time champion, has every award under the sun you can think of with basketball. I don't know why he lacks so much self-confidence. He's, at worst, no one's going to say he's not a top 5 player. I think he's the best player in the world, but you can obviously argue that people will take LeBron.
Yeah.
And and these threats too, dude, you're a 7-foot black man. No one's gonna fight you in the street. Everybody can threaten you behind a keyboard, but no one's gonna talk that mess to you in person. You know that. Most
look at
NBA
those
players
arms. Look at those arms.
He's skinny, but he's still tall as fuck. He's got the reach, man. He'll knock you out from a foot away.
I'm not worried about KD swinging on me, but KD's worth. I'm not even gonna pull. I don't pull it up here. I'm gonna guess upwards of $100 million. He probably has a real big dude with a lot of gold teeth walking around him as security. That's the dude. That's the dude I want nothing to do with. But you're right. Why are you so insecure? You've got to go fix yourself, man. Therapy is in vogue in 2021. Go ahead. What is it? Better Health. I'm hearing that on the radio all the time.
Something like that.
Something like that. But Katie, you're a multi-millionaire, dude. You're in the argument at the very least of greatest basketball player alive right now. You're in the argument for top 5, top 10 guaranteed of all time. You're one of the deadliest, if not the deadliest scorer of all time. You have no reason other than the fact that your hair looks like taco meat and your arms are real skinny to be mad upset, dude. You need to find some happiness somewhere, man. You're fucking Kevin Durant.
You can say that. Yeah, you can say that Rappaport kind of broke the street code. They're talking shit between each other, and you're gonna post it kind of being a little pussy. You could say that. That's fine. But KD has more to lose than Rappaport, because now the narrative is this guy such a homophobe that he's like a frustrated gay man?
Yeah, they're killing him right now on Twitter. Oh, yeah. He's getting destroyed with that right
now. Like, you have nothing to gain from this guy who's essentially a nobody compared to you.
He's a troll. Michael Rappaport's a troll, 100%. So what you're doing, when I say KD, playing right into his hands, man. You're doing exactly what Michael Rappaport wants to do. He's not a great actor. I mean, he's been in some roles here and there. He was actually in a show called The Guest List on TBS. He was in one episode. It was a pretty entertaining episode. But he's not that great of an actor. I mean, look at him. He looks like a grown-up Bart Simpson. He's got reasons. He's got reasons to be upset and have low self-esteem and all that. So he's out there, and he probably does have low self-esteem, which is why he was coming at you, KD. Yeah. So, listen, man, put your rings on. Slide on your signature KD shoes, not the ones that, go all the way up to your freaking knee. Those were stupid. But put on some your own. You have your own shoe. You understand that you have your own shoe? Once you have your own shoe, you can't be upset about shit anymore. That's it. Stop being upset. You got fucking 2 rings. You got an MVP. You're probably going to get a third one. But let me tell you something right now. You know why he's in his feelings right now? He's hurt, or at least he hasn't been playing, and the Nets are balling. And before he got hurt, the Nets were struggling a little bit. So the Nets are balling. No one's talking about Kevin Durant. They're only talking about Harden's going to be the MVP. Can Kyrie keep up this the streak, the offensive streak that he's on right now? No one's talking about, oh, well, the Nets really need KD to get back so that they got a chance to really do something here. And that got him in his feelings. I guarantee you on that's what happened right there. So he's looking for some attention because he's not getting any.
And even so, nobody actually believes James Harden is the best player on that team. So it doesn't really matter.
No.
Everybody knows he's that dude when he walks on the court,
But he better, when he comes back, if by some chance he does screw up chemistry, it's going to be bad. So the timing for him coming, he's got to make sure that he's absolutely 100% healthy before he comes back. And when he comes back, he needs to come in and just play a role. Even if at the beginning, he's a good enough shooter to just sit in the corner and take spot up shots. So if you got to do that in the beginning, yeah, exactly. You just got to stay out there and do your job. KD, it's just something KD never played in the Final Four. He only was at Texas for the 1 year. He didn't get there. This here is a picture from when the Final Four was the actual Final Four, when it was destination TV, when it was set your alarm where you were going to watch UNC playing Kansas, Memphis and UCLA. That Memphis team, that's a Derrick Rose Memphis team. That UCLA team, I believe, may have had a Russell Westbrook on it.
And Kevin Love and Russell Westbrook.
And Kevin Love, exactly. So you're talking about powerhouse stars in the NBA playing in the Final Four. What do we have now? We got a couple of stars there. Jalen Suggs, and Kispert on, and even your boy Timmy over on Gonzaga. Those are guys that are going to play on the next level.
I think based on what I was seeing in the rankings, there's one potential top 10 pick in the entire Final Four.
There's guys that'll play now. No, there's at least three.
That are top 10 picks?
Yeah, Jalen Suggs. Well, here's the thing. Suggs may not come out, but if Jalen Suggs, the point guard on Gonzaga, actually does come out, he's a top 10 pick. I take Kispert, his backcourt mate, I take him with a high pick because you can't put a higher premium on anything else other than shooting in the NBA, and that guy is knocked down. He gets an open jumps, and that's something that translates. Shooting translates. So, and then you're going to have somebody on, was it Juzan on UCLA has probably played his way into the top 10 now because he can get his own bucket. If you can get your own bucket, those are the two most important skills in the NBA for an offensive player. You got to have at least one of them. If you have both, great, but you got to have at least one. Is get your own bucket or be able to knock down a shot when somebody hits you with a pass. They also have the 7-footer in that's on Michigan. He's and I'm forgetting his name. I'm trying to pull it up real quick right now. But the 7-footer from Michigan is also going to be. He's a freshman. If he comes out, he's also going to be a very high pick here. Dickinson. That kid, he can shoot with both hands. He's a good passer, and he's a willing passer out of the double team. So he's going to play on the next level for sure. Now we spent half of our 5 minutes on this topic here, just kind of giving a quick scouting report on guys going to the next level. But the question was, do you care about the Final Four? And I do to a certain extent, but not as much as I used to. But go ahead. Yeah,
no, I'm with you. I don't. I'm going as far as say as I don't. Because I don't see any potential like that kid Jalen Suggs is probably the closest one. Like you said, who knows if he's going to declare or not? Just because those guys in Gonzaga like being there the entire time. Yep. Almost like Oregon. Most drugs are legal out there, so so maybe that's part of the reason why.
Oregon, you got to use that to your recruiting advantage. Everything's legal.
But yeah, it lacks that for me, and really that's the problem that NCAA is going to have because I say 3 of the top 10 picks are in the G League right now, and then you had some of the star players in the big time programs that even opted out. Obviously it's not going to be COVID every year, but it does lack, and I wasn't even that motivated to fill out a bracket just because of all the crazy stuff going on with games being canceled.
Exactly. So, and the other thing is too, is we don't have, you either need stars or you need villains, and one of our biggest villains, I hate him, but a lot of people across the country hate Duke as well. So number one, you're rooting for your team when your team is on, and then every other game you're picking one of the teams that you don't like, and you're picking the other team to win. So that adds some intrigue. So yeah, the UNC game is done, and they got knocked out in the first round, which is the first time it's happened in some like 40 years or something like that. But the UNC game is off. All right, I'm going to flip it over. Oh man, it's a 2-point game again. In the Duke game here, I'm going to watch this because they have a chance at losing. You have that. You don't have that in this here. And then when he had a couple of stars, Jalen Suggs is still playing, but Cunningham got knocked out. Pretty early. We did get to see some more of the center that is on USC. That yesterday, he's pretty good, and he's also another one that if he comes out in the Mobley, if he comes out in the top 10, it comes out in the league because he's a 7-footer, can step out to mostly NBA 3, good passing, but it's still not enough to pull us all the way back in for the Final Four. It's not the Allen Iverson going at it with Ray Allen. It's not Jerry Stackhouse dunking all over everyone on Duke. And I said that because that's 20 minutes, sir. We are out of here. We'll holler at you next time, 4 and 20 and Crackbacks.
Let's go.